Does anyone remember if they agreed to pay us? If they did agree to pay us, we should probably take back some proof, some evidence.
I think they did.
All right, sure. I'll go to whatever the closest one is, and with one of my hand axes, I'll just chop off the head.
We should probably chop off the cow's head too.
The hell are they gonna want? I mean,
Well,
I guess.
look, they don't know what these things are. We could have just gone out into the woods and found some random creatures and killed. We need to show them the cow. Unless it has like some sort of necklace or brand on it. Does it have anything like that?
Yeah, it would have a brand on its hindquarters. Suppose you could probably
I will
cut it off,
that
I suppose. All right.
Bring the brand back.
And I have the head of one of these things. What are they called? Gnolls?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I guess we should, if they don't have anything, if there's nothing else around here that's valuable or useful, I guess we should have probably head back to the tavern.
Sure.
So you head back to the tavern.
All right. So you
If we can
guys
hear
sort
you.
of make your way back, sort of kind of slipping and sliding through like the slick forest underbrush. The rain sort of slows you down quite a bit. It's hard to see even with your dark vision. It's just tough going, basically. So while you guys are walking back, Merrick, you are currently alone in the tavern, at least from your party. The rest of the people here that you would recognize being the farmers who came in for a drink earlier and who were talking to the party, and the town guard that came in that attempted to help the dying man. So is there anything you'd like to do?
Well, I mean, nothing really too crazy at the moment. I think these guys got it. I think I'd be trying to take a statement from the dying man.
Okay. He's sort of he doesn't really say anything like cohesive, basically. Much like how he was when the party was there, he's not exactly giving a lot of information. He seems to be sort of in a fugue state.
I keep trying. That's probably
Okay.
what I'm continuing to do. Got a little pad and notepaper out.
Alrighty. So after a little while, the party eventually you make it back to the road itself, and then you start walking towards the town. Because you're not following tracks, you're a little bit faster, and you manage to make it to the tavern in good time. You open the door to see Merrick crouched over the dying man, kind of scribbling in a notebook or something, I assume, and the rest of the onlookers sort of look at you expectantly. Are you still a bear, by the way, Run Boy?
Definitely not. After we left the forest,
Okay.
I would have changed back.
So yeah, everybody sort of looks at you guys as you walk in.
We've solved your problem. And I'll toss the brand piece of skin onto the table. And then motion for Carver to chuck the head on there with it.
Do you do so? Alright, well, you left Carver outside on accident. You closed the door behind him and he was stuck outside. So they look at the branded flesh, and Robert sort of looks up at you and he's like so this is this is the cow then?
Yes. Unfortunately, these creatures, a swarm of these creatures were devouring it, and it did not survive.
Did you say I'm outside?
Well, you weren't saying anything, so I ignored you.
Well, sorry, I really got home.
Okay.
I go inside.
Robert sort of is like, well, so did you guys take care of the creatures?
They were dead.
I present the
Carver.
head. There you go.
So like upon seeing the head, like the whole bar sort of like collectively takes a step back. The head's just like sopping wet and like dripping blood onto the floor. It's sort of just this ugly animal, and everybody's just kind of in a state of unease seeing it. And Robert sort of like he's like good gods. Well, I mean, well, we had the money, I guess, and so he kind of turns around and he talks to his farmers. They all sort of start, pitching into like one collective pot, and then he takes a little bag and he's like, I know it's not much, but here you go, and he holds out the bag.
And grab it and check how much is in there.
All right, you kind of like snatch it and then you like open it up and sift through it, and you count to be about 75 gold.
75 gold. You couldn't have done a nice number that would have divided by our group size.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is all we have.
I'd like to offer the head to them. Like, you want this?
They sort of, again, like you sort of like raise the head towards them, and they all sort of take a step back, and Robert's like, no thanks. We're okay.
Ah, come on. It's already dead. It can't hurt you. Cook it up. Make a soup.
That's okay.
No, you would have to grill something like that.
No, you boil it. Boil it down. It's the flesh right
I
off
don't
the
know,
bone.
man. It definitely seems more like a grilled kind of meat.
No. Alright, well, I'll just hold on to it, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. You sort of hook it onto your belt, I guess. Boblin resumes his tune, and the farmers thank you all again, and they just sort of go back to their seat.
Take your brand with you. It's your property.
One of them sort of walks over and like kind of picks it up and is like shrugs and then like takes it over to their table. A few of them stick around for a while and ask a couple of questions, but they're pretty mundane, like how many were there and what did you see and yada yada. After a while, the crowd kind of disperses. The dying man, he's still not in great shape. The town guard, after talking with him for a while, decide to take him to their barracks where they can more closely watch him, and they'll call for a doctor in the morning. They discuss with you that if he dies, there's a 100 gold bounty, because that's the bounty for murder, at least in this town. So if he does die, you guys will receive the bounty, but as of now,
Interesting.
it's unknown. With that, they leave the tavern, kind of carrying him in like a stretcher, and you guys all sit around at a round table. It is a little bit late, but you guys are pretty wide awake. You spent a while in the cold rain and whatnot. Nidar excuses himself. He has some lizard things to do, I'm sure, like shed or lick his eyeballs or something like that. And why can't I remember his name? Gosh darn it. Herman decides to also go to bed, saying like, yes, I think I'm going to go to bed tonight. I'm not feeling so well. And he takes his leave and limps up the
Probably
staircase.
divided up the gold before everyone left. I assume we would have.
No, we can divide it up now.
Yeah, if you want to
Divide
wait
it up
or you
now?
want to do it now, you can.
So 50, 50, 50, 50, 50?
What?
How many? So between the 5 of us, right? Or are we including them? Early sleepers.
I don't know. Did all the work.
How about this? You guys can keep the money, but I want to hear what happened. Did you... Those guards, they told me some interesting things. Like you guys now have a bounty on you. Did I hear that right?
Sorry, what? No.
Oh, okay. Well, wait, but no, seriously, that's not what you just said.
There's a
It was
bounty
like-
on the guy on finding the things that killed that guy.
Oh, I see.
Not, he's not dead yet. He didn't kill him yet, but he's killed.
Okay.
Just for
we
the
may
record,
kill him.
everyone gets 12.5 gold.
I see.
You'd have to. I guess you would have to add it for
5
church
silver,
and
yes.
leader to door. 12.5 gold.
12.5 gold would be 12 gold and 5 silver.
Yeah.
And you want me to add that to their inventories?
Yeah, might as well.
Airmon.
So, what happened? Let's see. Oh, yeah, so the man came in with a spear in him,
Yep.
and, like, we took it out, and I tried to heal him, but it didn't do too much. And then we decided, hey, let's go kill the things that killed him, so we went outside, right? And it was really rainy, and we were having trouble following the tracks, but we followed them into the woods, where there was this campsite. So we started looking around, and we couldn't find anything, so I turned into a wolf. I smelled, and I followed his tracks, and we found all these other wolf things, and...
Hyena things, not wolf things.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Anyway, then we started fighting, and Nondar summoned a crossbow, but he doesn't know how to reload. And Thorak, he doesn't take any damage, and I turned into a bear, and I can't heal very well. And Carver's sword kind of broke. But then we killed them all, so it was all good. And then I had a snack.
I also chop this one's head off. Want some
Well,
soup? I'm gonna make this in the soup later.
well. So you guys did a bit of vigilante justice, huh? How does it feel?
Everything hurts.
Oh, that's a shame. But nevertheless, good job. If there were more citizens like you, this country would be a safer place.
Does it count as justice if you just do it for money?
Yes,
Of course.
Sure, fine. I'm not gonna question the incentives, but you did the right thing. Good job. Now these town guards here, hell, they won't do anything. They spent 20 minutes taking a statement from the guy bleeding out over there. Didn't get any useful information out of that.
How do you know that?
Because I was here, sitting here, listening to them. All I did was gurgle.
So you were eavesdropping?
I took my own statement. These guys couldn't do it.
Wait, if it's so useless, why did you do it?
Listen, I had the sniffles, okay?
Uh-huh.
The sniffles. That they call it these days.
It is.
Okay.
Anyway, I got better. So, what's our next move?
Probably
Ready
just
to leave this podunk town?
Well, we probably should spend the night. We're a little bit battered from the conflict
fine.
with these things. There were many of them. What were there? There was like 20 of them or something?
I lost count after 2.
yeah, I don't know. There's quite a few.
So I think we should spend the night and then make our plans for... What town are we in again?
Isfana?
Istana.
Istana?
Ishtana.
And we're going... let me
Does
bring
Sheriff
up the map
have-
so I can actually see
Where
where we are.
is the link to the map? Put a link to the map in the DnD.
Are you saying
office
it's
channel.
not in your hotbar? Wow.
Are you saying you don't have it bookmarked?
Yeah.
Oh well, I have it. Well, I have it.
Don't
I
have it
have
set as your
Google Drive
homepage?
bookmarked, and it's in the Google Drive, so I have it there. But
How do I do? Is it just link?
extra button clicks. North Turia. There. Yep.
Your
we're
channel
going
was
to
edited.
Sure.
We're in
No, it didn't work
Istana
like
and
that.
we're going to... What town, sorry? Gottberg, was it? Or...
Sure.
Your channel was edited.
Yeah, Sheriff.
Thank you.
According to my notes.
Okay. So, we We should probably spend the night and then head out come daybreak.
What is it? It's like a half a day to serve or something.
You recall it's about 3/4 of a day. It's kind of a long walk.
Well, I'll go to my room, I guess.
Alrighty. For everybody staying in the tavern, it's going to be another. What was it?
5 silver.
We'll do 7 silver for tonight.
What? We're the heroes of the town.
Also brought in a bloody head and displayed it proudly, bringing blood all throughout the tavern.
Listen, we needed
Also,
the
you threw a
evidence.
flap of skin on a table too.
That was not ours. That was their property.
I'm gonna cook
So
this head
7
tomorrow.
silver for tonight's rest.
Hope y'all like Knoll soup.
So I guess we all sleep.
It's a long rest, right?
Yes, you guys can go to sleep, take your long rest, refill your
Okay.
stats as needed.
Well, I'm
And,
done. That was easy.
In the morning, you all awake and see Nadar does not leave his room, and Herman simply you knock on his door and he just says something that's muffled behind the door and decide to leave him for the day. If you guys decide to, if you guys don't decide to come back to Astana, you might want to discuss a plan for them to meet you somewhere in the following days. You guys aren't going to return.
I'm sure they
They
can
might
catch
want to
up to
discuss
us.
that. They could catch up with you if you go one path. But if you tell them one thing and you go on another, then we're gonna have trouble finding you. If you want to discuss and have a plan in place, or you just want to get
Why
on
don't
out of
we-
there, it's up to you.
Let's leave a note
Fine.
for them that we're heading to Serva, and
Serve.
tell them when they get there to speak to the biggest tavern or biggest inn there, and we'll leave another note there if we move on somewhere else.
Good plan.
That works.
Okay. Alrighty. So you guys are, as of now, just sitting in the tavern. You sort of have your own like little table on the corner of the tavern. Every time you go there, it's open. Seems to be your sort of de facto table.
I have a question. Does anyone have an iron pot?
An iron pot?
Yeah, to cook this head.
They're
I
very.
do not believe so.
I'm telling you, we can just roast it. It'll be
my
great.
God. It's just too much skin. You gotta clean the skin off and the hair. Oh, it's too much work. Boil it down.
That's just lazy.
Well, I'm a lazy person. I don't need to cook fancy meat.
Do you have a helmet?
No.
Can we borrow yours?
Too edgy for helmet.
I'd rather not.
We'll
Oh,
clean
you
it.
have one, Mr. Guardman.
I do, but I'm not gonna give you. I'm not gonna give you city property.
This is for the good of the city.
I'll be honest. I'm not quite sure. You know, I'm no culinary chef, man. I'm mostly just used to the crap they serve us at the barracks. But wouldn't this, if we boiled this down, wouldn't all the hair like get into the soup?
Well, that's right. Cut. All right, fine. I guess you gotta cut the hair off first. It's a good point.
No, the trick to eating that type of stew is to simply keep your teeth closed as you digest it. With your mouth.
It's a broth of that.
It's a natural strain your teeth are.
You don't get any nice protein.
Well, regardless,
All right,
shall
well.
we head out, or are you wishing to cook that for breakfast?
I'll cook it on the way. I'm gonna go to, up to the barkeeper
Uh-huh.
and be like, how much would it cost for you to sell me an iron pot?
Iron pot.
You know, I was supposed to start the game with an iron pot, then I'm like, I'm never gonna have use for an iron pot, so I didn't put it in my inventory.
Here we are,
Well,
day 3.
I suppose I could sell you one of our extra iron pots for like 2 gold.
2 gold. It's an iron pot, man.
I mean, it's cast iron though.
You have a normal, not cast iron pot?
No?
Oh my god. How much
I
does
could always make an iron
2
pot
gold.
if we bought
how
the
much does an
iron.
iron pot weigh?
I don't know, probably like 5 pounds.
I mean, let me check.
10 pounds, currently.
7 pounds. The hell kind of pot is
10
7
pounds, sorry.
Yep, 10
10
pounds, and it can
10
hold
pounds.
1 gallon.
Oh fuck! It's a fucking heavy ass pot. All right, fine. We can roast it. I ain't looking around 10-pound iron pot.
But you're not
Iron
strong
pot
enough?
weighs as much as a
Oh,
sledgehammer.
I'm plenty strong enough. I just fucking, yeah. I'll find someone somewhere. Anyways, let's go.
Alright. I guess we leave.
Oh, don't we leave the message with the person, the innkeeper?
Oh yeah, so we'll leave him that note.
Alright, you leave your message with this innkeeper, and you are out on your out in the town. Is there any stores or anything you'd like to hit up before you leave?
I'm good.
Might want to get that axe fixed. Or sword. Is it a sword?
The sword.
Sword
I don't know.
fixed.
Would there be any capable blacksmith in this?
There is a blacksmith in town, but you're not sure how skilled he is. You can go over and investigate if you wish.
I can quiz him for you. I'm quite skilled as a smith.
Well, that or once we're done with Sherb, we could go on to Gutberg or Vigorooks. I'm gonna say that.
Vigoro?
Vigorox.
Vigoro?
There's an X in there. It's definitely Vigorox.
It sounds like a French word, probably a silent X.
The hell are the French?
What kind of letters are
Sounds
silent?
like an elf word, probably a silent X.
Yo. Get your yucks.
My character would not know how to properly pronounce that.
Well, he's probably heard it before.
Nah, man. Refuses to believe that an X could be silent.
Right there with you.
Anyways, I'm sure one of them would have a more than capable person of doing it. Place seems a little small. Let's just head out. It'll take too long.
Sounds good.
You know what they say, a broken sword is still sharp. I just tap helmet. Tink tink.
Someone there?
Debatable. I'll say, looking at him and then walking out the door.
Hey. First.
Alright, you guys head out, and you're on your way. You're leaving in the morning, so you should arrive there by evening or so. Let me do quick. Alrighty. The weather is improved. It's still partly cloudy from the day before. It's not unpleasant. It's the spring, so it's cool out, but nice. It's a pleasant temperature. During the walk, nothing really special happens. At one point, you find a cool-looking flat rock that looks like it'd be perfect for skipping across, like a lake or a pond or something, but
Cool.
alas, you don't come across one right now.
If we pause to or if we stop at some point to let's just rest on the journey, I want to cook this head. I want to roast it since apparently boiling it's out of the options.
Well, I suppose you guys would probably take like a 15-minute rest at one point for lunch or something.
Oh, that's not long enough to cook it.
So I don't know, unless you guys want to all agree to take a short rest in the middle of the journey, I don't think you'll have enough time to cook it, at least in transit.
I'm sure you could ask the innkeeper when we get there to cook it up for our dinner.
Oh god, I'm very skeptical on that one.
Yeah, they don't really seem to like.
Show up and be like,
those
"Hey, you want to
things.
cook this, this chopped off head for me?"
Why wouldn't they?
Have you ever tried having an innkeeper cook a head for you before?
Yes.
Have you?
Well,
Has it succeeded? It's never
I
succeeded
mean,
for
I
me.
didn't
Fucking
actually see
hold
the
on.
process. I was told that it happened.
Right.
It's,
Yeah, well,
Your journey continues. Everybody sort of kind of steps away from the two of you, arguing about how to grill up a head. The head is sort of kind of getting kind of gross and
Hey,
mushy
it's
now.
only a day old. It'll last for at least another 2-3 days.
The blood coming from where its neck used to be is kind of congealed and disgusting.
Actually, what's the temperature? Approximately.
It's probably 60s or 70s.
Oh yeah, this thing will last at most 2 days.
So optimistic.
I mean that's about how long a deer would last. So.
Okay.
Along your journey, you encounter a group of travelers who walk by you. They seem to be abuzz with some conversation. They kind of barely even see you guys passing down the road. You guys just pass each other and go on about your separate ways. Towards the evening, you do eventually arrive at the town. And it is kind of a dump, honestly. It's essentially just a small farm town. There seems to be one kind of crappy tavern inside the town. There seems to be a general store, but aside from that, there's really not that much else.
See, I'm sure that tavern keeper would have cooked this head. This is probably a delicacy for this people, conditions being as it is.
Well,
You
let's
think
find
they're
the
capable
inn.
of killing gnolls?
No, I'm saying that they probably never have had this high quality of food here.
Well, let's find the inn. Let's find out.
Is there one?
Are we?
Yeah, there is. There is a crappy inn.
Oh, perfect. Crappy, the best kind.
It doesn't even have a special name or anything. It's just inn. Just kind of written in faded painted letters on a wooden sign.
Pretty sure that's copyright.
Very meta.
When you go in, there's a small little bar with a lone owner behind it. Inside there isn't really anything. It's pretty unremarkable. The chairs and tables are low quality. There's a couple of people around. It seems like Boblin this morning got up earlier than you guys and made his way here because he's in the corner playing a little ditty.
Oh,
Think we have a stalker.
Boblin?
The goblin? Boblin the goblin? The bard or whatever position?
Yeah.
When he sees you guys enter, he smiles and waves at you guys, and
I'm gonna show him that we still have the head.
he sort of sort of just nods.
All right.
Probably like rotting by now, right?
No, it's only been a day.
It's not rotting, it's just kind of gross.
Hey, man. Still edible. According to Mountain Blade Warband pay rates, it's still edible. It's like minus one morale, but it's still edible.
I don't know if they have null heads in Mountain Blade Warband.
I'm just generalizing based on how fast meat decays in it.
Has the dork written up stats about the decaying flesh and bones?
Let me consult the lore. No, I have not.
Alright.
The lore says, what the fuck? Alright.
Well, I walked into a new place, so you know what I gotta do.
Look for crime.
Look for crime. Anything going on here? This is pretty quiet.
It's pretty quiet since since it is the evening. There's probably about a dozen or so people kind of interspersed throughout the tavern. The largest group is about a group of 4, and they seem to be talking about something intently, but can't really tell what they're talking about from here. If you want to try to sort of edge into their conversation, you're welcome to try.
No, that's fine. That's fine for now. Intently talking is not illegal, not yet. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. I'll keep an eye on them. I'll just sort of like watch from a distance.
Okay. So you guys are sort of just standing at the front of the tavern right now. You're welcome to find a seat or...
I'm gonna go up to the barkeeper person and be like, hello there.
He sort of looks up. He's, of course he's got his little rag and he's cleaning out a glass, and he sort of looks up. He's sort of surprised to see you, but he quickly puts a poker face back on and like, how are you?
I got a question for you.
All right.
What is your would you mind cooking a head for us?
What?
No, like a knoll head. Chopped it off a knoll. You want to cook it?
He sort of like just kind of stares at you for a second and sort of narrows his eyes. Like, you want me to cook a head?
Well, if you won't do it, then can I borrow like a skewer?
What?
Yeah, like
What?
a skewer,
Where?
like a thing to skewer.
Y'all are
it.
city folk, ain't you?
No. No.
He sort of like
Do I look like I'm from the
eyes
city?
you suspiciously. Well, I suppose we could. If you want to pay, I could throw the head in a pot of stew or something. But I don't know if anybody else is gonna eat it.
No, it's mostly for us. Mostly for me.
Well,
And another guy over there.
for a gold, I suppose I'll throw it in and make it a stew for you.
Oh, perfect. I'll give him 1 gold.
All
And
right.
then I'll give him the head.
He grabs the head and takes it behind the bar into the back room, and you hear a little plop. And yeah, he comes back out and he's like, "Well, it'll be ready in a while."
Alright, thank you very much. Good man. I go back to the others. Alright, he's cooking it up into like a soup or something for us.
Yeah. We're eating good tonight.
What kind of what are you?
Me?
Are you like an elf?
Yeah, wood elf.
Okay.
You guys are just standing by the front of the room still.
Oh, fine. I'll find a table, sit down, order an ale. Full 9 yards.
All right, 2 silver for an ale.
While I'm ordering it, I'll just ask the bartender. Hello there, citizen.
Howdy.
So, see any crime around these parts?
Well, I don't know about crime, but some of the farmers are complaining about something or other. I don't know. I ain't one to pry.
An innkeeper that doesn't pry?
That's none of my
Interesting.
business. But yeah, so maybe talk to some of them. Something's got them all up in sorts.
Are there any right
All
now
right.
in the bar?
There's a couple of patrons around the bar, but you don't necessarily know if they're farmers.
What else would they be?
Guild keepers, adventurers, peasants, ranchers.
Do we see anyone that's like a bit more that looks like an adventurer, you know, has like better gear and
No.
No? Okay.
But they could be incognito, you don't know.
True. Alright, well.
And it's nighttime right now, right?
It's evening, yeah.
Well, I suppose we could always just relax tonight and then start off tomorrow and look around.
With the group that's talking intently while I'm drinking, I'd like to get up with my mug and kind of just walk over, make my presence known. Do they still continue to talk intently?
Yeah, they keep talking about something that they seem to be completely oblivious to you.
All right. I just casually stroll up. Citizens.
They sort of like look up at you for a second and they like sort of nod hello and then they just go back to talking.
Damn.
They seem to be talking about some new book or something. You can't really. You're kind of entering in the middle of the conversation, so you're a little bit confused.
Fellow citizens, I hope you're not up to anything illegal.
They sort of turn to you and they sort of like look around like, who is this guy? And then they sort of like, they're like, nah.
Good. Now if I'll stroll back over.
Okay.
They were talking about a book. Some sort of interesting book. So either that is a meeting at the local literary club, or maybe, potentially, it could be a magic artifact.
You mean
Tell
the
me.
one he specifically told us about? That was the book?
Potentially. Now tell
And
me.
you didn't find out what it was?
Now hold the phone now, Nemia. As you can see, I'm in uniform. I'm not exactly incognito. I've found that citizens, despite, often needing the help of guards, don't tend to trust guards very much. Why don't you head over there?
Well, first of all,
Perhaps they'll...
we're outside
perhaps
of the
they'll
city that
listen to
you have authority in.
Still in uniform, however.
Okay.
You're one of these roaming town guards that we've heard about.
It is my assignment, after all.
I thought you were
Patrol
fired.
the countryside. Just reassigned.
As a civilian.
Nevertheless,
I wanted to do something, but never mind. Alright, I'll go. You know what? I'll cast invisibility on myself and eavesdrop on them.
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Roll a stealth before doing that,
Alright.
just to see like how stealthily, I guess. Because I mean, you're in like a busy bar and you're casting. Okay. So, you sort of like stand up and like, sort of very I Dream of Genie-esque. You sort of like cross your hands and like blink and then turn invisible. A few patrons that sort of like they like kind of notice that and they're like what? And they sort of they just are weirded out a little bit. Boblin notices and just smiles and starts a new tune.
Good old Boblin.
Boblin.
Who the hell is Boblin?
Yeah, I'm
Goblin.
actually unsure about that.
Yeah, the Goblin.
Named Boblin.
How does everyone know this guy?
Yeah,
I don't
I
even
Just the
understand
last
that.
tavern.
Are we being followed by this bard man?
He's not a man, he's a goblin.
This Bardlin. Gob.
Boblin the Bardlin.
Boblin the Goblin Bardlin.
I never liked bards or their music.
Tarblin.
Weren't one of you a bard?
I remember a bard once.
So what are you doing right now, Nemia?
Eavesdropping?
Okay. They seem to be intently talking about some form of book. They're sort of discussing. It sounds sort of like a book, but these people sort of seem to just be like peasantry, so you're not really sure how they read a whole book. But it doesn't seem to be the mythical book you're looking for. It seems to just be some recently released book that they seem to be intently talking about.
Are they discussing the contents, or are they like talking about a specific
They're
book
sort
and
of
what to
like
do with it?
sort of discussing the contents, but it's more like logically. They seem to be speaking of some sort of person who was an explorer or something like that, and they were reading his journal or something like that.
Okay.
You as you're sort of like eavesdropping, sort of like hovering around the table, you'll notice that in one of their like bags, you can see what looks to be the edge of a book, and it might be perhaps the one they're talking about.
I guess I'll try to look at it.
Okay, so you sort of like kind of edge in and get like a little bit closer, as careful as you can, not to raise any suspicion. You can sort of see the edge of it. It looks to be like a pretty short book, maybe only 40 pages or so. But it's a small book. You can't really see the title or anything like that. Just sort of the but
Nah, it's not worth it. I'm just gonna go back and then turn off invisibility.
Okay. So you return to the table, sit down, you see the chair scrape against the floor, and then kind of creaks as somebody sits in it, kind of scoots back in, and then reappears.
So, what did you discover?
I don't think it's of any importance.
Oh, literary club then. These are well-read farmers. All that public money for public education must be finally paying off.
I suppose.
You know, Nemia, I've been wondering,
Yes?
are you rich?
Well, if you were to say, if you had to choose between me being rich or not rich, I suppose you could say I am.
What?
I don't really own any property.
But, like, you have money,
I have money.
so you're rich.
Sure.
Cool. Oh, yeah. Why are you rich? I almost forgot.
I found some treasure. Let's say.
Where? Where'd you find it?
Fuck, what's the continent called again? Not Tyria.
Wolverine? Genoa.
Genoa. Wait.
Genoa.
Inoa, yes.
Then what?
Not Genoa.
I was
Yes,
in the far-off lands of Genoa.
Inoa, yeah.
It's
right,
very
I found
far
it
away.
there.
Almost another planet.
You've been to another continent?
I've been to a couple.
Wait, there's more than 3?
A couple is 2, but I've been to 3 actually.
Okay. Yeah.
How old are you again?
Was it like... What's that?
Never mind.
Was
What'd you
it
say?
cool?
What was your question?
Was it cool there? What did you do?
Not cool,
What were
no.
the people like? Were there any cool animals?
I remember seeing a, I think it was a wyvern. Wow. There were some orcs. There was an old man that I traveled with. He was pretty annoying.
You gotta tell me all about that. I want to go everywhere in the world someday.
Why is that?
I don't know. There's cool stuff out there, isn't there?
There's also lots of not cool stuff.
I mean, yeah, but surely there's more cool stuff than not cool stuff, right?
I don't know. What about
Well,
you?
if you do
guys?
decide.
Have you ever been to Inoa?
No, but I've heard stories. A strange land. A lawless land. You could kill a man and get away with it.
That's true.
Stab
yeah.
them at, say, in a cornfield and leave them there.
Yeah, that happened actually.
Oh. The legends are true then, oh. I heard they don't have law books there, or books of any kind.
I think they
People
have
feast on each other's bones when they get bored. And no one pays fines. Is it true?
I don't remember paying any fines.
My god, it is
So you
true.
could be right.
Absolutely horrifying.
I was young
Vaughn,
then, though, so I don't remember all of it.
Vaughn, if you do decide to travel the world, be ready. You may wander into a place that's truly lawless. With no order
Places that are
whatsoever.
lawless.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely terrifying.
Actually, that cornfield thing you just talked about, I think it happened twice.
My god. Sounds like a terrible place.
Sounds like a great place.
Hey, Merrick, you've never been to No Man's Land, have you?
Hmm?
You might not like it there.
No man's land.
Maybe
there
No
really
Man's
women?
Land. Also great. Oh man.
Well, if such a lawless place existed so close, I would never venture there.
The night wears on more and more. You guys realize that you've been talking well into close to midnight.
While bonding.
+1 morale. Full party.
Is the kobold's head ready?
Also,
Not
where's
kobolds.
my soup?
Yeah.
You're like, oh shoot, my soup, and you run up to the thing, and then the tavern keeper's like, oh yeah, and he brings out this big iron pot, and he kind of like and puts it up on the bar right there, and it's sort of like this sort of purplish, sort of
Careful.
acrid, just unpleasant smelling kind of broth, sort of gelatinous as well. There seems to
Ew.
be a few floaters in there.
Floaters.
There's
Like
still a
in
lot
your
of
eye?
hair on the head too,
What?
and yeah, it's just
Well,
unpleasant.
got any of them bowls and some spoons?
He gives you like a ladle.
I said bowls.
He just shrugs.
You son of a gun. All right, well, I pick it up and carry it to the table.
All right.
I'm like, all right,
Make-
all right.
Pick it
make
up
a
and
strength
place it
check
in my
for me.
plate.
Really?
Oh no. Okay.
Okay, so it's a awkward kind of bowl, but you manage to, using your boy muscles, sort of lift it up and sort of narrowly dodge and sort of weave throughout the tables, and you sort of like just thump, put it down in the middle of the table,
Alright,
The rest of the party just sort of is like,
I'm like, all right, guys. Well, we got the soup. Unfortunately, he apparently doesn't. Apparently, bowls don't exist in this godforsaken country. So we only have one ladle. We're gonna have to share.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting something a little different.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Apparently, people can't fucking cook. So.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna fucking. I'm gonna. I'm gonna scoop some out and eat it.
okay, just roll a d20 for me.
This is where I get food poisoning, guys.
Okay, give me a second. Must consult the lore book.
Food poisoning table.
Something like that.
Roll a 1, you immediately get bedridden.
Just a question: how does shoving work in this game?
I think
Shoving?
strength
Yeah.
test versus another
Well, I
person.
mean, like,
probably
what does it
something
do?
like
Does it just push them back? That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
5 feet, I think.
How is that useful?
If you need to put someone
you
somewhere
can-
else, like into a trap.
Yeah, and you'd be able to get out of their.
Yeah, their
Reaction
attack.
range.
Yeah. And you could put if there's one person next to 2 people, you can push them out. Right, I need to read to see. Let's see. Okay. Do a Constitution saving throw for me. Okay. It's pretty gamey. It's not pleasant at all. It's sort of just this like congealed, kind of dusty, sort of taste to it. The soup itself it's almost kind of hard to like get in without like knocking on like the skull of the creature, and it's generally it's not edible. It's just not pleasant.
Lovely. I guess I'll eat a little bit more. And then none of you other guys want any. No one.
No, I'm
Well, how
good.
is it?
It's pretty. Not gonna lie, it's pretty gamey. It's not nearly the best I've ever had. Probably on the lower end of the pleasant spectrum. But I mean, I've also eaten a lot of terrible things in my time, so at least it's cooked.
I think I might do without.
Man, come on.
Well,
Trying to
since
provide
you're
for the
twisting my
party
arm,
in the only way I
I'll take
can.
a ladle of it. And eat it.
You're gonna take a sip.
Yes.
Okay. Make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Ooh,
Hey,
that tastes
Okay.
delicious.
You like, it's sort of something strange about it. It has sort of a homey flavor to it.
Oh,
You find it to be actually quite good. It reminds you of better times.
I'll happily start
Just like
eating it.
Mama used to make.
Okay, you sort of are. Are you guys
I've not
sharing a
had something
ladle
this
or?
good in 80 years.
yeah. I mean, I guess we're both eating it.
Okay.
I'm
So
gonna,
you guys
like,
just
leave
sort
from
of
my
go to
table.
one corner of the table
I
and
don't
like
even want
just
to
like.
be near it.
I got a fang in my mouth.
Also,
Alrighty.
once we're done with it, I want to probably take it outside and dump out whatever like soup and stuff's left, and then pick the skull up.
Okay.
It has
The skull, it's not clean. It's kind of. It's like emaciated almost. Like it still has some like little bits of flesh still hanging on it, and still an eyeball in there, sort of hanging on by a few
easily cleanable.
muscly strands.
Easily cleanable. Gotta boil it down some more.
The rest of you, kind of like as they sort of wipe this kind of purplish mildew off their face, sort of turn towards each other and continue your conversation.
I'm gonna go explore the town at night.
Alrighty. You open the tavern and
Actually,
Town
from
is-
now on, I'm gonna be using a thaumaturgy to open and close doors. Because it's a
Okay.
cantrip and I can do it for free, and it's cool.
alright, you wave your hand like you're going to the grocery store and you're like 10 years old and you like, I can use the force. You open the door and just sort of like walk out. Nobody really notices, but
Wow.
Somebody
you
noticed.
go outside, you sort of walk around the town. Honestly, it's like a 5-minute walk. There's nothing really. There's a closed general store. There's the inn that you're at right now, and aside from that, there doesn't really seem to be anything very interesting.
Are there houses in the town, or are they like spread out near the farms?
There's like a cluster of houses in the town, and then there's, as you reach the edges, they become more and more spread out. They have like yards with vegetable gardens in them and whatnot.
Is there any like construction going on, or is it like kind of dilapidated, or is it?
There's probably on the edge of town. There's probably 1 or 2 abandoned structures, but there isn't really any new like exciting construction, especially at night, and not really too much going on. It just seems to be like a town that seems to be stagnant, sort of forgotten by the times.
All right, I'll go back, I guess.
Pretty. After about 10 minutes or so, Namiya force opens the door again and then walks in.
And then I'll head to bed.
Alrighty, for everybody who wants to sleep in the tavern, it'll be 5 silver for the night.
Alrighty.
Right.
Alrighty, you all get your rooms and you go to sleep. It's not an uncomfortable bed, but it's certainly not the most comfortable bed you've ever slept in. After a long evening, you awake in the morning, fully rested and ready to take on whatever life throws at you. Yeah, no, never mind. Alrighty. As you guys awake and kind of go back into the bar area, you see Boblin is already wide awake, playing kind of like green sleeves on his flute.
What?
And green sleeves.
I've not heard of it.
Da-na-na-na. Like, whatever. Like a good morning song.
Good song.
Good song. How does it go?
I know a song.
Here, I'll give you my favorite rendition.
Oh god, is it gonna be on a kazoo?
Not quite.
Oh, the Tomatomes.
I don't think I identify that as green sleeves.
Just wait until the third one joins in.
I love the comments. Imagine getting lowered into a grave to this song on repeat. I stared into the abyss and the abyss stared back.
That must be what angels sound like.
Anyways, he's playing that, but not on that.
He doesn't have a Tomatone.
The
It's
hell
not.
is green sleeves?
Like an old English folk song
I gotta
or
listen to the
something.
original song now.
pretty recognizable. But anyways, tell you what, why don't we just we'll take a 7-minute break. So be back here at 55.
Very specific, but okay.
Well, that way we're on a good number. So 7 minutes.